Okay, so I've been thinking about this, and wait, actually, I haven't just been thinking about it. I've been obsessing, like, genuinely losing sleep over the whole Steve Burton situation on General Hospital. Because on the surface, it looks fine, right? It looks like a normal thing. But when you actually sit down and look at the pieces, which is what I'm doing right now what time is it? Too late. Obviously, it just feels off. Something is weird. Here's what's bugging me. So Steve Burton, Jason Morgan, obviously, do I even need to clarify that he hops on Instagram on Tuesday, February 10, and he posts this picture of himself on set? Just a regular pic? But the caption... Okay, let me pull it up because I want to get the wording exactly right so I don't sound crazy, even though I definitely feel crazy right now. He says, "Hey everyone, I wanted to share that I'll be taking a short break from General Hospital." Okay, fine. Short break. We can deal with a short break. But then he says he's newly married and wants quality time with his family. And then this is the part right here. He says, "I'm grateful for all the support and will be back this summer." So surface level, great. He's back in the summer. No biggie. But wait. Why announce it? That's the first thing that hit me. Why the big announcement for a short break? Because think about it. Jeannie Francis takes breaks all the time. Finola Hughes disappears every summer to go to, I don't know, Italy. Somewhere fabulous. Do they make Instagram posts with headlines matching their captions about it? No. They just vanish from the canvas for a few weeks and we all just accept that Laura's visiting Lucky or Anna is... Actually, what does Anna do when she's gone? Probably being a spy. Or maybe just drinking tea. Anyway, the point is they don't announce it. They just go, but Steve announced it. Which makes me feel like, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but hear me out. It feels like damage control, or like getting ahead of a narrative. Because if it was just a normal vacation, you wouldn't need to tell the fans, right? The show films weeks ahead. He's already wrapped scenes, apparently. So we're looking at a spring exit. If he just disappeared for a month or two on screen, would we even panic? Okay, yeah, we totally would panic. GH fans always panic. We are in a constant state of tizzy. So maybe he's just being nice. But no, wait. There's more. Because then Frank Valentini, the EP, obviously, he puts out a statement to TV Insider, and this is where my brain starts to itch. Valentini says, "We love Steve, and I am glad the show worked it out so he can get some personal time with his family." Okay, nice. Friendly. Then he says, "We have some great Jason story leading up to spring and look forward to his return in the summer." Look forward to. Does that phrase bother anyone else, or is it just me? Look forward to is not confirming. It's hopeful. It's polite. It's not. He has a contract and he starts filming again on July 1st. We look forward to it. Like, I look forward to winning the lottery, but that doesn't mean I have the ticket, you know? Actually, let me backtrack. I might be overanalyzing the grammar. Maybe look forward to is just PR speak for it's happening. But I can't shake the feeling that there's a gap there. A tiny legal-sized gap where a contract should be. Because nowhere in that statement does Valentini say Steve is 100% locked in. He says the show loves him. He says the door is open. But he doesn't say Steve is signed. And this is where I go down the rabbit hole. Because remember, 2024, I think it was 2024, yeah, it had to be, because that's when he came back last time. When he returned for that explosive storyline, which, honestly, can we talk about how explosive it actually was? I mean, it was good. But was it explosive, I guess? The station wagon scene was cool. Wait, was that this return or the one before? I'm losing track of the returns. The point is, when he came back in 2024, he was super open about his life plan. He said, and I remember this distinctly because it made me sad, he said he felt like he had 2 to 3 years left in acting. 2 to 3 years. And he signed a 2-year contract. Okay, so do the math with me. He started filming 2 years ago. The contract was for 2 years. We are now at the 2-year mark. He's taking a break right when his contract would theoretically be up. Is it a break? Or is it a negotiation tactic? Or, and this is the scary part, is it the end of the 2 to 3 years he talked about? No, wait, he said, "I'll be back this summer." He said that explicitly. So he's not retiring right now. Unless Unless Summer is a tentative plan that depends on the contract he hasn't signed yet. I mean, look, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how soap contracts work. But isn't it weird that his break coincides exactly with the end of that 2-year deal he mentioned back then? It feels like leverage. Or maybe just timing. Maybe he really is just newly married and wants to hang out with his wife. That's valid. Totally valid. I'd want to hang out with my family too if I wasn't busy obsessing over a fictional mob enforcer at 2 a.m. But the 2 to 3 years left comment, that's sticking with me. If he meant that, then we are in the endgame, folks. We are in the final stretch of Jason Morgan. And if this summer return happens, is it just for a final arc? Is he coming back to wrap it up, or did he change his mind? Actors change their minds all the time. Remember when... who was it? Someone said they were never coming back, and then they were back in 6 months. I can't remember who. Probably half the cast at this point. And Valentini's quote again. Glad the show worked it out. Worked what out? The schedule or the money? Because worked it out implies there was something to work out. A conflict. A problem. If he just wanted vacation, you just ask for vacation. But worked it out sounds like compromise. It sounds like meetings. It sounds like emails with subject lines like urgent, Burton status. I'm probably reading too much into worked it out. It's a common phrase, we worked it out. We worked out the logistics. That's probably it. But why does my gut say otherwise? Maybe because of the history. We've been burned before. The whole 2021 exit. I don't want to bring up old stuff because that was a different situation with the mandates and everything, but it taught us that Jason can leave. He's not invincible. We used to think Jason Morgan was a lifer, like he'd be there until the lights went out in Port Charles. But he left. And the show went on. Sort of. I mean, did it go on? Yeah. Was it the same? Not really. Jason is... he's a pivot point. That's the word. He's the axis a lot of the show spins around. Sonny Carly, the mob stuff, the Quartermains. If he leaves, or if this break turns into a long break, which turns into we couldn't reach an agreement, the show scrambles. They have to. Valentini said they have great Jason story leading up to spring. Okay, so they wrote him out. They knew this was coming. It wasn't sudden. That's good. That's reassuring. It means they're not just going to have a bridge collapse on him again. But if they wrote him out, that means there's a cliffhanger coming. Or a neat bow. No, Jason never gets a neat bow. It's going to be a cliffhanger. He's going to go on a mission. Or get kidnapped. Or... wait, he's newly married in real life. So maybe Jason just decides to go? Meditate, no, that's not Jason. Actually, what if the great story is the reason for the exit? Like, maybe the story dictates the break. No. That doesn't make sense because Burton said he is taking the break for family. It's personal. So the story is a reaction to the actor, not the other way around. Okay, glad I clarified that for myself. My brain is jumping around too much. Let's go back to the contract thing. 2 years. He signed a 2-year deal in 2024. It is now 2026. The math is perfect. Too perfect. Is it possible he hasn't signed a new one yet? That they're letting him take this break as a cooling off period or a negotiation window? I'll be back this summer, could be his intention, but if the network doesn't pony up the cash, does he come back? He's Steve Burton. He's a top fan favorite. One of the biggest stars in the industry. If they lose him, they are, as the reports say, left scrambling. But do they know that? Do the suits know that? Sometimes I feel like the networks think everyone is replaceable. But Jason isn't... you can't recast Jason again. I mean, Billy Miller was amazing, but he was a different version. He turned out to be Drew. You can't put someone else in the black t-shirt. You just can't. So, if Burton is playing hardball, not saying he is, but if this public announcement is genius, I'll be back summer. Now the fans expect it. Now, if he doesn't come back, it's not on him. He said he wanted to. It's on the show for not making it happen. It puts the pressure on Valentini. Oh my god, is that what this is? Is this a public negotiation move? Hey guys, taking a break, love you, see you in summer. Fans yay see you in summer. Frank? Valentini? Ooh. We look forward to it. Or maybe I'm just cynical. Maybe he really just loves his wife and kids and wants a few months off. That is the Occam's razor answer here. The simplest explanation is usually the right one. He's an actor, he's been doing this for decades, he wants a vacation. Bad. But then why the 2 to 3 years left comment from before? That's the haunting part. If he comes back in summer 2026, and he said that in 2024, that means 2026 or 2027 is the retirement zone. So this summer return might be the farewell tour. Oh god, I'm not ready for the farewell tour. I'm really not. And think about the timing with the storylines right now. I'm trying to remember what aired yesterday. My memory is like a sieve, but things are intense in Port Charles. Sonny is always going through something. But Jason's role right now feels pivotal. If he leaves in spring, how do they explain it? Does he just say, "Peace out, Carly, I need to find myself"? No. It's definitely going to be a mission. It has to be. He'll go off to save someone. Maybe Lucky No Lucky's... Wait, where's Lucky? I can't keep track. Maybe he goes to find... someone. It doesn't matter. The plot device doesn't matter. What matters is the void he leaves. I keep going back to the Instagram photo. He looked happy. Relaxed. The headline matched the caption. It was very produced. Very official. Headline I wanted to share. It wasn't just a selfie with a "be right back" caption. It was a statement. Capital S. And Valentini's response was a statement. Capital S. When two sides are issuing statements about a short break, it feels like more than a short break. It feels like an event. But then again, maybe they just learned from the past. Maybe they know that if Steve Burton disappears without a word, the internet will melt down. Rumors will start. He was fired. He quit. He was abducted by aliens. So maybe they are just being transparent to avoid the drama. Nah. This is a soap opera. Nothing is ever done to avoid drama. Drama is the currency. Wait, did I mention the Finola Hughes thing earlier? Yeah, I did. But let's look at that again. Finola leaves. No statement. Jeannie leaves. No statement. Maurice Bernard takes breaks sometimes. Does he issue press releases? Sometimes he tweets, I guess. But this feels heavier. It feels like the 2 to 3 years clock is ticking loud. If he comes back in summer, that's what, June, July. So he's gone April, May, June. That's a chunk of time. That's a whole sweeps period, basically. May sweeps without Jason Morgan. That's bold. Or stupid. I haven't decided.